Hello everyone, Miss Elizabeth here for First Congregational Church of Muskegon Confirmation Class. Today we finish up with our last lesson for the church year from Unit 8 about lifelong learning. Our lesson today is about developing an inner life. We are following the Progressive Christianity curriculum that First Congregational Church has purchased, although we do not own the copyright to this material. Our Unit 8 is about committing to a path of lifelong learning, compassion, and selfless love. We affirm that I will always look for ways to learn and be loving to others. Our lesson is centered on these scripture readings from the Psalms. Psalm 37, verse 7, "Be still before the Lord, and wait patiently for him. Do not fret over those who prosper in their way, over those who carry out evil devices." And from Psalm 46, verses 8 through 11, "Come, behold the works of the Lord. See what desolations he has brought on the earth. He makes wars cease to the end of the earth. He breaks the bow and shatters the spear. He burns the shields with fire. Be still and know that I am God. I am exalted among the nations. I am exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah. Be still. Do not fret. These are not some punishments that are being forced on you. Being still doesn't mean the same thing as a time out. Rather, it's an invitation to rest and look within ourselves, to connect with our spiritual nature that's deep within ourselves. So, what does that word fret mean? Actually, it means to be angry, to bore a hole inwards, to agitate violently, to disturb, to devour like an animal. It is so much more warlike than to worry. To fret is a much bigger deal and more noticeable than an internalized worry or concern. Like Fred Savage as the grandson in The Princess Bride says, "I wasn't nervous. Maybe I was a little bit concerned, but that's not the same thing." The way we behave towards others in our outward activities is very important, as we've discussed in other lessons. But we also need to balance our outward activities with an inner life. Our inner life of prayer, meditation, self-study, silence, and stillness will be very important as we grow and learn. Inner stillness and quiet help keep us balanced and in touch with our spiritual self. A quote from Eddie Hillman, "Sometimes the most important thing in a whole day is the rest we take between two deep breaths, or the turning inward in prayer for 5 short minutes." And another by Reuben Lowe, "In the space between your thoughts, there is your truth." I said this last week. When one chooses to live in the Spirit, to follow a spiritual path, we may discover an inner strength, a personal power that we did not realize we had or needed before. The outer world does not support or encourage an inner life. And the outer world doesn't need to witness how we individually connect to our spiritual self, our inner life, our human creativity. It can be bold, important, and life-changing, while it is quiet, private, and still within us at the same time. Consider this scripture passage from Matthew chapter 6, verses 5 and 6. And whenever you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to stand and pray in the synagogues and at the street corners, so that they may be seen by others. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward. But whenever you pray, go into your room and shut the door, and pray to your Father who is in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. This morning, I came across a TED Talk recorded by actor Ethan Hawke. He talks about the magic of giving yourself permission to be creative. He said, so, you have to ask yourself, do you think human creativity matters? Well, most people don't spend a lot of time thinking about poetry, right? They have a life to live, and they're not really that concerned with Allen Ginsberg's poems or anybody's poems until their father dies, they go to a funeral, you lose a child, somebody breaks your heart, they don't love you anymore, and all of a sudden, you're desperate for making sense out of this life. And has anybody ever felt this bad before? How did they come out of this cloud? Or the inverse, something great. You meet somebody and your heart explodes. You love them so much, you can't even see straight. You know, you're dizzy. Did anybody ever feel like this? What is happening to me? And that's when art is not a luxury. It's actually sustenance. We need it. Okay, well, what is it? Human creativity is nature manifest in us. We look at the aurora borealis. It's so beautiful. And I believe that we are here on this star in space to try to help one another. Right? And first, we have to survive. And then we have to thrive. And to thrive, to express ourselves. All right. Well, here's the rub. We have to know ourselves. What do you love? And if you get close to what you love, who you are is revealed to you, and it expands. This is the end of this set of lessons in our Progressive Christianity curriculum. So I invite you to think about your spiritual path and what you are choosing in deciding to become confirmed in our faith traditions. There are so many ways to blunder as we try to stay on the path of lifelong learning. My hope is that you will choose an inner life, a stillness, a human, spiritual creativity, to manifest God's love for us in how we love each other. Make it matter. Thanks for listening.